but she'll go over that at the end. But anyway, welcome. Thank you all for coming out to Better Together for the Security, Concierge, and Transportation presentation, as well as the Pathways Wellness presentation. It's good to see y'all here, and those of you who might be watching on the portal. We wear a lot of hats in the Security, Concierge, and Transportation department, as some of you in here have interacted with many of those different hats. So I will try to give somewhat of an overview of some of the things that we do and some of the value we provide to you here at Springmore. But this is the heart of what we have on our team. This is our asset. That makes up our Security, Concierge, and Transportation team. And while they are a very diverse group of people, as I look at that collage, I can see that I know of 18 of those who have college degrees, a varying degree of work and life experience that they bring to Springmore, and they all contribute something unique to the team and come together to provide services that provide value to you. And so I'm proud to work with these people. And they're all tied together by kind of a common denominator, and that is they all have heart for Springmore. They believe in the mission, they believe in what we do here, and they care about you, and they care about one another. So that is the heart of the presentation, is the faces that you see there. Our department is staffed 24/7, 365. There are always people at the main reception desk and always guards available. During the day, of course, there are more people providing more services, and as the evening goes on and less people are moving around, there are fewer people here. But we provide safety, security, and convenience services. We coordinate all the emergency responses. We monitor safety and security, do regular rounds inside and out, and provide many personal services to residents. And I would be curious what some services that might have been provided to you would be that don't fall under what you would consider security and transportation. Right.
Of stuff and being able to send stuff out.
Right.
Periodically have a monitor, a medical monitor, that needs to be sent back to the company. And to have, I believe it's not the state, the mail, but FedEx sometimes pick it up. And to have you guys take care of that at the main desk rather than me go flying out trying to find an office.
And have to pay a lot of extra money to do it.
Yes, just been really, really nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can you summarize what she said on the microphone?
Oh, certainly. She was appreciative of the package delivery service and the package sending service, which is something I'll talk about a little bit later, about that service being available to you. But there are a number of things where we see a need, we find a way if we can do that. We help a lot with the library in various capacities. Yes, ma'am.
I've got one. In our garbage room, or whatever you call it,
Mm-hmm.
we get mice from time to time.
And we come and dispose of them.
Yeah, that's not considered, under your auspices, but somebody does come and brings something.
Right.
When you go to, to get your garbage to throw it out, there's a mouse looking at you. Well, I run back and call you.
Right. Thank you. Yeah, there are a lot of odd examples. I mean, we could write several volumes of books, and it would be quite entertaining, I'm sure. But one of the things we do is we respond to alarms. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about the types of alarms that we have here at Springmore, because that's important for you to know what's available to you when you have the need for it. One of the most important lifelines you have is your landline, that telephone in your apartment. If you pick it up and dial 0, there is somebody there. If it rings a while, it's because there's a lot of other people calling at the same time, which means please don't call in the middle of a fire alarm, because then they can't respond to the fire alarm. But if you dial 0, there's someone there. If you just knock your phone off the receiver, if you can't get to it and you can just grab the cord and pull it off, it sends an alarm to the desk, and we send a guard to go and check on you. So that phone is a very important lifeline for you. Then you have a pull cord in each bathroom, and you activate that by pulling down firmly on the string, and that will send an alarm to the desk and over the radios, so both the receptionist sees it on their computer console and the guard hears it over the radio, and they go and they respond to that, see what's going on and what kind of help is needed. You also have the emergency alert pendants, which we now have 2 options for those, the new Halo pendant and the pendants that we've had for a while. And those are, I strongly recommend that people consider purchasing one before you think you need it, because you want to learn how to use that and be familiar with it and comfortable with it long before you actually have to use it. And then there are smoke alarms in your apartments. I'm sure most of you have set it off at least once. When you set it off, please don't open the door to your apartment, or you'll set it off for the whole building, and then everyone will love you. And that brings us to the fire alarms in the building. So if an alarm does go off in the hallway, then that alarm will sound for that entire building. Now, the building is divided into very compact zones. So while the alarm is sounding for the whole building, it's actually been activated in a much smaller area. The guard is first going to that small area to see what's going on and rule out danger. If they find danger, I will get to that, but if they find danger, we will put in the evacuation plan where we will go door to door and we will evacuate the entire building and make sure that anyone with mobility needs has the assistance they need to get out. We have the 5 fire departments right around us that are here within minutes of us calling them. But as you know, those pesky fire alarms can go off for no reason sometimes. And that is a nuisance, we understand. I suppose I would rather them be too sensitive than not go off when we need them, right? We do fire drills twice a year, and sometimes we have enough false alarms that they kind of crowd out a fire drill. And anyway, but the guard responds to all alarms. They assess the situation and they call for the appropriate assistance in that circumstance. I want to skip to mass messaging. In the event of an alarm, we will send out, when we know everything is safe, a mass message telling you, say the fire alarm went off, telling you that it's safe to return to the building or remain in the building if we've identified there's no danger. We don't immediately send out a mass message when the alarm goes off because, of course, you can already hear the alarm. But in the event that we go when we find a danger, then we send out a mass message telling you that there is a real and present danger. We have a...
You get on the computer or the phone rings and it's a recorded message on the phone?
It's both. It's on your email, your telephone, your cell phone, and your text. It's on whatever we've got for you. Now, when we've got a dashboard set up so the receptionist can quickly deploy those mass messages, and there's something set up for a fire alarm, for a lockdown, for a weather alert. There's all sorts of stuff set up that they would need to deploy very quickly. And that has been a very helpful service, and we're able to target specific buildings with it or the entire community. And we use that both for residents and for employees. Yes, ma'am.
Questions now or after?
Usually after, but I'm welcome to.
Well, it was just about the fire alarms, in a sense. How do, I mean, I know we would hear it in our building,
Yes, ma'am.
but we don't evacuate right away. Is that correct?
We.
I know that
no,
sometimes when it's the mistake, but I don't know how we know.
We do recommend that you follow the evacuation plan when a fire alarm goes off, if you are physically able to do so. If it is more dangerous for you to evacuate than to stay in your apartment, the fire department would agree with us that it would be more safe for you to shelter in place until we can come for you, or they come for you. But that would be, did that answer that question?
Well, I think so. It's just, seems like it's sometimes confusing, like if it's a mistake that the alarm went off.
Right. Well, you can't know it's a mistake until we find out that it was a mistake, and that's why we send that message out as quickly as we can. So on to well-being reports and checks. We run an official well-being account at 6:45 every evening. You have the friendly Edith and Greta that usually have that task, and that will run a report of everyone who has used their meal card during that day. And so if there's anybody that didn't use their meal card, then we ask for you to call the desk to let us know that you didn't use your card so that we don't have to call you and bother you. Or if you're going to be out of town, that you let us know that. Otherwise, the receptionist is going to see your name on a list, and they're going to attempt to give you a call to make sure you're all right. If they don't get a hold of you, they're sending a guard to the apartment to come in and check to see what's going on.
Is the meal card not triggered in the garden room?
It is.
Often I use it in the garden room and I get a call.
So
So it's supposed to be triggered.
I have an answer for that.
Don't go to the dining room, but go to the garden room and use it. It shouldn't be triggered.
So the question was, will the meal card still trigger the well-being if it's used in the bistro or the garden grill? And the answer is yes. However, sometimes they close those point-of-sale systems at a different time, or they have manual entries that they make. And so sometimes it gets left off, and we would rather call you and be safe than not call you and something be wrong. Yes, ma'am.
No, where it says notify the receptionist, is that when we dial 0?
Yes, ma'am. And so we might also perform a wellness check if the clinic asks for that for some reason, or if we have some reasonable concern to be concerned for your safety. And as far as entry into apartments, we come in for alarms, well-being, maintenance, emergencies. Sometimes there's scheduled routine maintenance that you should be notified about that we would come in for, and delivering large packages. All entry into your apartment, other than an emergency situation, should be individually authorized by you. We do have a form if you wish to authorize your housekeeper to come into your apartment for your regular cleaning. If you will fill that form out and turn it back in, then your housekeeper can provide you with a copy of that. But if you'll turn that back in, then we keep a record of that on our computer, that you've said it's okay to let that housekeeper into your apartment.
Where do you find that form? How do you do that?
Ask your housekeeper. The question was, where do you find that form? Ask your housekeeper. They'll bring it to you. And door locks. So we're very pleased to have the electronic access control that we currently have that keeps the unwanted people out and lets the wanted people in. Now, each of you have been given a fob and a code, and we would kindly ask that you share that code only with your trusted family members and people that you would actually give a key to your front door, because you're basically giving them a key to your neighbor's door. So guard those codes. And all the doors are locked 24 hours a day, except for the doors that are presently manned. And those have the ability to be locked as well. So other guests that you would not trust with a code, or someone who is employed by you is not trusted with a code, then they can be buzzed in from the receptionist desk if they're authorized to be here. I covered that. Parking stickers. So if you have a change in cars, let us know so we can get you a new parking sticker. If you stop driving, let us know so that we can take you off the list. We also do the scooter and power chair registrations. So if you will make the initial contact with occupational therapy or call me and I will call them for you, then we'll start the process of getting you approved. And once you're approved, we will issue you with a scooter registration and tag. We are next year rolling out an annual recertification process that will assess both the driver and the fitness of the device. And that is a nice improvement that occupational therapy and the clinic and I have worked on rolling out. Yes, Ms. Campbell.
Scooters, do we have dimension, or do you know, or who should I ask, do we have limited dimensions? Some of these scooters, a couple of them, most of them are reasonable. There are a couple of them that are like road hogs,
They're,
big.
right, some are larger than others,
Are
and
we gonna not have new ones like that coming in?
well, we're not going to have a golf cart driving down the hallway, but we do assess each device individually and the need that that person has for that type of device, because the reason they use it could be different and their size can be different, and the places they use it, say they're driving to Harris Teeter, you don't want them falling over on a three-wheel scooter. So there's all kind of reasons people choose the ones they have, but we make sure that they're able to safely drive it in the building. And now we're going to make sure they can safely drive it every year, since things can change.
We have some speedsters.
We know. If you have any concerns, just give us a call.
I mean, they just about wipe you out. You gotta get out of the way very quickly.
Okay, pet registration. So we handle pet registration as well. Everyone should have a current pet registration on file in the security office and in the business office. There is a shared folder that the receptionist has access to where they can access your emergency contact information for that pet in the case that you are incapacitated and unable to care for them, so that someone can reach out to that person so that your pet is not left behind. We would also have a record of those pets to coordinate emergency responses, evacuations, those sorts of things. So if you would, be sure to notify us if something changes with your pet. When you lose a pet, which is a difficult experience, let us know so we can take it off the file. And if you wish to get a new pet, then we ask that you go through the resident outreach coordinator to make sure that it's a good fit for you and for the community. Guest room reservations are made through the front desk by dialing 0. Your guest must sign in person for the room and be issued a temporary parking pass if they're driving. We don't allow the resident to sign in for the guest because we want them to be aware of the rules of the room. So there's a form that they have to sign, just like if they were checking into a hotel, we would want a registry of who is in our building, and we need that census. We handle packages and in-house mail. All deliveries come to the main desk and are distributed from there. We can expect now, come Black Friday, that already we have over 100 packages a day that come in. Now, after Black Friday, that's just going to increase exponentially. So be patient with the packages, sometimes it takes a while to get them all out. If you would like to come to the desk to pick up your package and it's not in a pile somewhere where it can't be found, you're welcome to come and pick it up. But sometimes those piles are like 2 rooms deep. Our in-house mail that you send to each other and that we, from the business office, send to you is distributed after midnight. And UPS packages, as Ms. Campbell was mentioning, can be mailed from the main desk and billed to your account using our business account, which is a discounted rate from what you would get if you went to the UPS store. Medical transportation is a free service that we provide on a first-come, first-served basis. It is a service that Springmore does more robustly than most other communities, and without excess charges. We are proud of that service. I've listed the contact numbers there. For independent residents, there's a hotline for you to call. If the resident lives in supportive living or the health center, then the people closest to them are able to kind of help coordinate those appointments for them and those reservations so that they can provide them with that extra personal assistance and service with the people who they're accustomed to being around each day. But as soon as you know that you have a need, go ahead and reserve. And we need you to make cancellations within 24 hours of your trip or as soon as you know. We get a lot of cancellations, and there will be next year rolling out a cancellation policy. And we want to be able to serve as many people as possible. And if a third of our scheduled runs have canceled that day, then that means we could have taken more people or opened up transportation for other purposes. So we service Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, Wake Forest, and Cary. We don't go any further than Chapel Hill. And the pickup times for those are, so if you have an appointment in Raleigh, then you should schedule that appointment at no earlier than 9:30, because our drivers are here from 9 to 5, and that way we can get you there because we'll have someone here to get you there. If you have emergency transportation needs, we have processes in place to take care of that. Brad?
Will you just share, just for their knowledge, the statistic, I know you shared with me, but
I have forgotten it off the top of my head, but it was a ridiculous number
the number of cancellations
that we had within a month. Yes, it was pretty astounding to me. It's multiple a day.
Right.
And so over a 30 period month, which 20 of those were work days, we had something in the neighborhood of 70 cancellations. Right, day of. And a lot of that is because people are scheduling with us because we're their last resort. And so then once their preferred person, their children or whoever, agree to take them, then they just don't show up. Or they call the same day. And then that's somebody that, we might have turned someone away because of that. Yes, ma'am.
What do the abbreviations SHC and SLC stand for?
Oh, very good question. SHC stands for Stewart Health Center, SLC for Supportive Living Center.
And what are those?
The health center is the skilled nursing and assisted living. Supportive living is at the end of West Apartments for people who are still independent but just need a little bit of extra help.
Okay, we're new and don't know a lot of these things.
Oh, okay. No, very good questions. So the health center is where you go to the clinic. Beyond that is the health center. Carrie will touch on activities transportation, which we have a robust calendar of that we're proud to offer. But the most important thing for you to know is we're here for you 24/7, and we will do whatever we can to accommodate what you need and to find a solution or to find the person who can. And if you don't know who to call or what to do or how to handle a certain situation, or you've gotten yourself into a jam that you're embarrassed to tell somebody about, just dial 0. We've seen it and heard it all, and we'll get you to the right place and do what we can to help. But that would be the most important thing for you to remember. If you remembered nothing else today, is dial 0. Those people are always there to help. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, call $5 I've come a little accustomed to people walking at night, knocking on my door. But Saturday morning, somebody at about 4 o'clock in the morning rang my doorbell. I was up, because I'd gone to the bathroom. Do I call and let somebody know?
Yes, ma'am.
Somebody's wandering around.
Yes, ma'am. Call the desk, and they will send a guard to check that hallway. Of course, we know the building is secure, that the doors are locked, so that there's no one malicious in here. Occasionally, you will have someone who might be a little confused that goes in the hallway or bumps into something, but
It concerned me a little because I was awake, whether they tried my door. So I want to remind people to lock their doors.
right. That is good advice, to keep your door locked. And now that we have campus-wide Wi-Fi, if you wish to install a video doorbell or something like that, that is certainly an option for you for added peace of mind. Thank you.
All right. Now I get to talk to you about what I'm very passionate about, and that is the Pathways Department. But first, I wanted to just remind you that I love fitness. My degree was corporate fitness and wellness, but wellness does not equal fitness. Remember, we recognize it as a multidimensional state of being, encompassing those activities and pursuits which bring optimal life satisfaction to the individual and enrichment to the community. So fitness is a piece to the puzzle, but it's not the only piece. So like I said, it's multidimensional. These are the 8 dimensions that we like to focus on. We've got your physical, emotional, vocational, nutritional, social, environmental, spiritual, and intellectual. So some programs and activities will weave into multiple dimensions, but we do try to make sure that we are providing programs, activities, and services that touch on those various aspects. So if I had to sum up what our department does or what our goal is in 2 words, it would be engage and connect. So it's our job to provide programs, activities, services, resources to keep you engaged through all those dimensions and also connected to the resources, to each other, to the staff, to your family. And I think our department does a really great job, and we're always working to continue to do that. So I broke it down into 3 categories for today. We've got the fitness aspect, the resident life aspect, and then kind of that other category that fits into the Pathways booklet and information that you get every month. So first, health and fitness. That fitness team provides a lot every week. You have your group exercise classes. You have the facilities at North and South that are open to you when you want to use them. Doesn't matter which area you live in, you can use any of it. Personal training, there is a fee for that, but it is available. Sport and recreation support, special events and challenges, and community engagement, and a few fun pictures there of some of those things. Group exercise, that was always my first love, so I love that we have such a fantastic calendar, and it's constantly evolving, improving, changing based on the needs of our community. But but you have an option of 25 plus classes a week with the Independent, Supportive Living, and Health Center. And that's things on the floor, in a chair, standing, on land, in water, you name it, we try to provide it. So that way you have a choice. But of course, we try to focus on all the key areas. You've got your strength and your balance training, cardio options, mat and chair yoga options, of course, the pool, line dancing, and Tai Chi. And as I mentioned, we also do classes in supportive living. Between Becky and other fitness members, they have an opportunity to exercise in their activity space, but they're also welcome to come to the Great Room and exercise where they like. And we also offer a couple classes a month in the Health Center. And that's a picture of one of our volleyball Fridays. It's a lot of fun coming to the Great Room next year for you all as well. Personal training, as I mentioned, that does, you do have to pay for that service. It's not a free service, but it's your choice. And it's a very flexible, convenient service, very affordable compared to what you would pay at other local gyms. But I love personal training because you get to have that personalized one-on-one attention. So whether you just have some goals you really want to achieve, whether you just finished physical therapy and have made great gains and you want to maintain that, maybe you just need a little extra motivation. Maybe you're not a group fitness person, that's okay, but you like having that accountability and motivation. Personal training is excellent for that. The trainers will be able to give you proper form, guidance, make sure you're safe. And then, of course, fall prevention is a big one with personal training because we can tailor it to what you need.
Karen,
Yes.
can you give us an example of what the cost would be for a personal trainer?
Yes,
Kind of general.
most people do a 30-minute session. We can go longer, but most people do the 30 minutes. And it's $25, if I remember off the top of my head correctly. Ruth is nodding at me, yes, $25. And the great thing is you're not dealing with credit cards or cash. It goes on your monthly statement. So you sign off on a little chart, that goes to accounting, and that all gets put on your monthly statement for you to see.
That's per session?
Per session. Yep. And you're not like signing a contract or saying you have to do this for 12 months or so many times a week. It's based on you and that trainer, what you want to do and what works for your schedule. You're welcome.
So you contact the individual trainer.
If you are interested in personal training, you can reach out to any fitness staff member. If you know of a certain person you want to provide your training, you can reach out to that person. If you're not sure, you can reach out to Ruth, Morgan, Tony, any of them, and they can help guide you through that. Another fun aspect of fitness and just physical activity is sports and recreation. We're fortunate to have an amazing campus and facilities nearby, and we have a lot of great residents that help lead those activities and coordinate and keep those going. So we've got pickleball, ping pong, shuffleboard, putting, croquet, and billiards that are currently active groups. And some fun special events and challenges to keep things exciting. We have our annual Pump It for Parkinson's that the team hosts and does a fantastic job with. And it's always fun to see administration get involved and housekeeping and various employees as well. And we had last year 194 participants in the Pump It for Parkinson's. So with a total of 722,390 steps. So maybe next year we'll get over 1 million. But that middle picture is fun. That was during an outing, but it was also during our Take the Stairs challenge. So different opportunities to try to keep you motivated. And again, choices. Take the Stairs may not be the right choice for everyone, but if it's something that's good for you and you like it, then you get to do it. And another fun aspect is community engagement. A few years ago, I randomly started the school supply drive because I just wanted to, and then it was a hit, and Ruth and the fitness committee have kept that going, and it gets better and better every year. They started a packaging event with the kids in the schools, which was fantastic to get the community working with Springmore and just the excitement, and who doesn't love school supplies? So that's a fun one every year. This year they also did the Great Raleigh Cleanup, so you got to do a fitness walk and do something great for the community. I believe they picked up over 35 pounds of litter in just their one walk. So lots of fun opportunities to get involved. All right, that other category that we offer is that resident life category. And there's a lot going on. As Jacob mentioned, with activities transportation, we work with his team to be able to go on all these trips. And these are just a few examples of tours and exhibits, restaurants for lunch or dinner, fancy ones, not as fancy ones, shopping, theater, symphony, ballet, sporting events, and museums, just to name a few. That bus goes out 5 days a week, at least once a day, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day, and on the weekends, not every weekend, but usually at least one weekend a month, and for memorial services as well. And these are some fun pictures from some of the events. But please, if there is something that we maybe did a couple years ago and you think, I really want to do that again, or you see something in a magazine, Anna is great about taking those ideas and getting them on the schedule. So always give us your feedback, even if you think, I don't know if they're going to like this, or maybe we've already done it, just let us know. Then some on-campus opportunities. There's always something for you to do. 365 days a year, whether it's in the dining room, the fitness room, on the bus, or on campus, but whether that's entertainment in this room, entertainment in the Ammons room at the South Village croquet area. Anna has done an awesome job of improving our movie selection and streaming, and again, that's an easy one where you can give us your input and your ideas. Seminars, whether it's kind of fun, informational, or educational and health. Bingo, that was a request that we will do more of that next year. Special parties and functions, whether it's Super Bowl or prom or baseball, all those fun things. And games. Aurora got a Mahjong group started, and now they're off running on their own, or Mexican Train. So again, if you have something you want to start and you don't have a group of people to do it with yet, you let us know, and we can try to help support you in that journey. The art studio downstairs, which is where Aurora is right now, we have fused glass offerings. Beading and jewelry is very popular. Different craft classes, paint classes, a lot of good open studio opportunities for you to be creative or learn new things. And she's got a really great group of people who like to knit and sew and be crafty with their hands, whether it's making stuff for themselves or their families, or also local charities. And more, we'll be expanding on that next year. And also, a lot of great resident-led programs. Our staff provides a lot, but we can only do so much in a week and in a day. So we're very thankful for resident involvement through Bridge, book clubs, the library, sing-alongs, discussion groups, the handbell choir, a painting group, and we have even some other things coming next year. So if you want to see something happen, you talk to one of us and we can try to help get that going for you. And then that other category that we don't necessarily plan all the details, but it goes into your wellness journey here, are the things provided by the chaplains and the spiritual programs. You'll always get that information on the portal and the Pathways booklet. Dining and Pathways, we often work together on those kind of bigger special functions like the prom, special luncheons, the ladies' tea, Cinco de Mayo has become very popular. And then Dining also has their own events that we try to advertise and help promote for them and put on the portal so you can register. And the clinic has done an awesome job of helping with seminars, getting on-site events. They take over the Rex mammography schedule now, so if you have any questions with that, you reach out to Kelsey. And then the pharmacy and the vaccination clinics, of course, we help promote that on campus, but that is all run through our on-site pharmacy. Our therapy company also gets involved with seminars and classes and screening events, so lots and lots of opportunities. So where do you find all this information? It's kind of overwhelming to just talk about all of it, but of course you get your monthly booklet. So you get that hard copy of everything that's happening. We try to get everything that we can in that book, but sometimes things change or things get added, which is why we added those weekly reminders that come out. And then, of course, everything is also on your portal. So we're not going to dive deep into the portal today. That would be another special event. But if you ever have questions with the portal, please reach out to Daniel or myself, because we will be happy to help you with that. But that little blue icon is the app logo. That's the Uniguest Community Apps. And of course, you'll see other information in your resident memo, Herald, and on the bulletin boards. Okay, the last big piece before questions, registration. That's a big one. So the typical timeline, when we finish that big book and it gets printed, as Jacob mentioned, mail delivery is after midnight. That'll happen, so I guess technically Tuesday, it's after midnight. But that Monday night, we deliver it to security staff, and they put it in all your boxes. It's typically the third Monday, but the date will be posted on the portal and near the bulletin boards. So on Tuesday, you can pick up that book, read through as much as you want. If you're concerned about registration, remember in the beginning of your book, you have your 2 pages of your off-campus trips and then your on-campus events that require registration. So you have that in the very front of your book, so you can always see if you want to sign up for something, that's what you need to look at. Then, to create a fair as possible system, because we have hundreds of people that live here, and some events are very popular, some are easier to get registered for. Our system is that you get that book on Tuesday. Our staff takes the time to put all that information on the portal. Now, you could technically go on the portal Tuesday night and see everything listed, but we ask that you do not click on it and sign up for it until Wednesday morning. 9 a.m. is kind of that start time where everybody's waiting and you can start clicking. We do this so that it's fair because we still have the hotline. Maybe one day we'll only go to technology, but that's not coming anytime soon. So we have the portal and we have the hotline, which is 7700. So if someone does not use their phone or computer, they can call that hotline at 9 a.m. or later on Wednesday. And then when we set up those events, half of the slots, so if a trip can have 14, we'll have 7 slots on the portal. So that gives us flexibility for 7 more spaces that if people call the hotline, we can feed them in before all those buttons on the portal get clicked and it fills up within seconds. So if you ever see that and wonder, why is that number so small? Just be patient. Anna works really hard on registration day, listening to all those hotline messages. We keep a spreadsheet to keep a record of everything. She puts those people in, and then she'll feed people from the wait list from the portal over to the list. Does that make sense? So on registration day, if you know there's something you want to do, I strongly encourage signing up as early as you can. Things like the restaurants and theaters and tours, those can fill up fast. If you're interested and you log on and it says full, still sign up. Your name will be on that wait list. More than likely, you have a pretty good chance of getting on the trip. But if you don't, like I think it was the crime bus tours and some other trips that we've done this year, if we have 20 to 40 on a wait list, we're going to try to keep scheduling that event and let the people on the wait list have priority. So if you want to do it, make sure your name is on that list. Another good benefit is that you are able to sign up your spouse or another Springmore resident at the same time that you sign up. So if you have questions about that, there are directions on the portal, or reach out to one of us. 48-hour rule. So please keep this 48 hours in the back of your mind when it comes to registering and canceling. Like I said, some things fill up fast, so you're going to want to sign up a lot more than 48 hours ahead. But if you need to cancel, please do so at least 48 hours in advance. We know sometimes emergencies come up, but more than likely, you know if you can't make it or if you're not feeling great in the beginning of the week, probably a good idea to cancel your Thursday trip or your Friday outing. That cancellation policy will take effect in January, where if you just don't show up or if you don't cancel before that 48 hours, you will be charged $5. And then if there's any cost, like a theater ticket, which we already charge for that, if you don't show up and it was a theater ticket, you still get charged for that theater ticket. The only time you should cancel or call the front desk about a cancellation is if it's the last day. It's still a good idea to let them know, because if maybe we could get somebody to go last minute, but we try to make sure we can plan as much as we can in advance. But if it's the last day, you can let the front desk know. Otherwise, still use the portal and the hotline for canceling. We have an amazing team. I absolutely love our team because a lot happens. So we need a lot of people working hard, and they do. I'm so proud of our team. And I have been here 16 years in just a couple weeks. I had my 16th anniversary. And it's been so fun to work with these people and see this department grow. So in Resident Life, we have Anna Hogan, who's behind the camera right now. But she does a fantastic job coordinating all your bus outings, your entertainment, your movies. You name it, she has probably planned it. But if you have any ideas, suggestions, or comments about that, please reach out to Anna. Aurora is the Resident Life assistant, and you will often see her on the bus trips as well, and also in the art studio. And Ruth is in the back. She's waving at you. She's our Pathways coordinator who handles most of the fitness scheduling, but also some of those fun special events and community involvement. And then our fitness specialists are Chris Lawyer. She's been with me since my first child. And Tony Beaudry, who's newer, but he is a fantastic personal trainer. So you have a lot of great variety in your fitness team. And then we added Morgan this year, if you want to wave, who is a new full-time employee who teaches fitness classes, but is also able to jump in other areas in supportive living or trips and things like that. Supportive Living has a dedicated employee, Becky Bulow, who was my very first employee that I ever hired. She is passionate and provides so many great things in supportive living, and we support her in that calendar. And then we also have Julie, who helps with she helps the convenience store downstairs and administrative and maybe filling in for trips or classes. So this is our massive, amazing team who makes everything happen for you all. But if you ever have a question, a comment, an idea, anything, please don't hesitate to reach out to one of us. If you're not sure who it should go to, just try one of us and we will direct you to the right person if we're not. But I truly mean that we want to provide what you all want. So never be afraid to ask. Tell us something if it's good, if it's bad. We do want to hear from you. So now we will take questions.
My question is more of a suggestion,
Sure.
and that is that when they're taking a trip on the bus, to be sure and show up on time, because the bus might leave
Correct.
at that time. If it's 9:10 and you're not on it, this is what I've heard. I actually haven't missed anything yet, but the bus will leave when it's supposed to leave.
Yes, thank you for the reminder. The time that is listed in your booklet, there was lots of confusion with loading time, departure time, and if you say this time, but then I need to be here 15 minutes early, and I am, but then the bus leaves. So we tried to alleviate some of that confusion by the time that's listed in the book is the departure time from North Village. So they always pick up at North first and then go to South. So if it says 9:30, you should be in that front area by 9:15, 9:20 at the latest. I'm not going to tell you exactly what time to show up. You know how long it takes for you to get to the front, but definitely be there several minutes before that time. You are independent residents, and we are not going to call you and say, hey, the bus is leaving. So we do have portal reminders and Sarah call reminders, but day of, please stay on top of your calendars so that you can make it on those trips that you want to go on. Thank you for that comment. Any other questions, ideas for me or Jacob?
I have a comment.
Okay.
I just wanted to say I have several friends that live in other senior communities in Raleigh, and I tell them about all the activities that we have here, and I think they're very jealous.
Jealous?
We have such wonderful staff, too, and everybody here is so kind and helpful. I just love being here. Thank you all.
Thank you for sharing. We are proud of it as well.
I have two questions, and both of them are for Jacob.
Okay.
The first one is, you mentioned if you knock your phone off the hook, that rings the desk and we can get help.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that only if it's the phone that belongs to Springmore, or if we have set up our own set of phones in?
If it is connected to the phone jack in your
Okay,
apartment,
that's
then,
what I
then that
thought.
applies. Now, one thing that would not trigger that alarm is if you failed to hang your phone back up after you ended a phone call, then your phone would just ring busy. But if you knock the phone off the hook when you've got a dial tone, you know how on phones used to have that operator tone where they meh, meh, meh. That's when you'd get us.
Yeah,
It would
okay.
go to the front desk instead.
And my other question is, and maybe this is for Brad more than it's for you, but are there plans to put electronic locks on the couple of doors around, exterior doors that don't have them?
Which doors are you referring to?
Well, the one that goes into the craft area by the woodworking shop is one. And then there's one side of the entry from the patio, the grill patio, it doesn't have an electronic door.
Okay, the one going into the craft room does have a lock, but what's that?
Both do now. You're saying the access control?
Yeah,
And the one that you're talking about in the grill, we've made one of those doors exit only.
Yeah, I know that.
And so that you enter through the one that has access control.
okay.
I got some questions.
All right. I'm shaking.
Access control. I heard a rumor that you were going to eventually have access the button boxes on the storage area, main doors. Is that correct?
So
Or are we thinking about it? Or?
there, well,
Rather than
that's
the key?
a
Yeah.
slightly different question. The Maintenance is in the process of those storage areas in
That's
these departments of putting a deadbolt with a numeric code in it. And those codes will be a kind of a sequence that are based on the room number. And so you will be able to use that rather than a key to get into those storage areas.
And
But that won't be the same access control you're using to get in the building. Of course, it's,
right. Yet it would be different. And access to individual apartments or units. You said there is a form we need to get from housekeeping to
Yes,
get the housekeeper in. Now, it used to be, I signed some sort of form at the main desk, Lord knows when,
that was the
that
same
allowed
form.
anybody, that allowed the guard to know that I would allow maintenance to come in and this and that. We no longer have one.
We
You said
don't-
generically if it was a big package or
Right.
an emergency maintenance or
We
something
don't
like
actually
that.
have a maintenance form. However, you can call individually and let us know in those instances.
So that would be the way to do it, because sometimes you just don't know when they're going to show up. You know, they're
Correct.
supposed to be
And
coming, but-
we've talked about that as well, about trying to work within kind of windows of time so that people can be prepared and try to be home if possible
Okay.
for things like filter replacements and such.
Now, I'm getting down into the weeds there, but who holds the housekeeping act? Because sometimes I realize, I've got a meeting or I've got a doctor's appointment,
So.
and she, my housekeeper kind of screws up her face when she says, I've got to wait for, them to
Right.
come and blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm sorry, but I
Right.
can't be here. Nurse made that.
The forms, we have a paper copy that we keep, but then we enter them into the database.
Okay.
So the receptionist, when the housekeeper calls them, the receptionist will pull up your profile in the database and see that we do or do not have authorization.
Great. Well, that would work with maintenance too. You could just put on
It
the
would.
database.
In fact, there's a field for it.
Yeah, okay. Anybody else? Something?
If you're going to be away and you fill out the form that's available, is there a way that you can check that to make sure that the information that you provided has been received by someone?
You're talking about on the portal? if you fill out the
There's
form
a
on the
form-
portal.
There's a form to fill out for when you're going to be traveling or being away, and you can send it, and you get a copy back on it, but is there a way that you can check that actually at Springmore, somebody has that record?
Right. That form is on the portal, and it sends us an email of the information you provided. You can always just call Zero and ask them to check you out, or call to confirm that they have the correct information.
Thank you.
But you've always got that personal touch. You can talk to a person.
Okay.
While you're thinking, I did want to say one last thing. We had a question about where can you find these presentations and the documents. So on your lovely portal, whether it's your phone, iPad, or computer, there is a category called videos. And when you click on videos, if you only see titles, make sure you hit collapse all so you can see categories. Because in the video categories, we have things like fitness, your Vespers, all different things. But at the very top of that video category is a new one called Better Together. So all of these programs are put in that section. And also in the documents section, there is now a Better Together subcategory where these PowerPoints have been put into PDF. So if you want to go back and look at anything from a previous one, it is in the Better Together documents section. So feel free to explore the portal. Let us know if you have questions. We will do another training after the new year about the portal just to help people with tips and tricks and make it easier for you. But any other last questions? We got one more over there.
Where do I sign up for that 6-week thing about end-of-life issues?
Good question. So that is coming in January, but we did put the save the date in there. So we will add it to the portal. We didn't do that yet since it was technically not December, but I'll get with Lori and I'll make sure we have all that information on the portal. And you can also call the hotline and then we can add you. Yes. Anything else? Well, if you want to chat with anyone, we are here. Anna's here, Ruth is here, Morgan is here. Luke is also in the back if you have any other transportation questions, Jacob and myself. Thank you so much for coming and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank y'all.